snap. There's the kick. It's gone. Oh my gosh. The kick is gone.
Boston Sports Nerd present Joe's Fantasy Field Goal.
What's up, nerds? We're back at it for week 7 of the football season. Crazy week last week. I think I said on the B.S.N podcast, maybe I didn't. But I've been telling a lot of people that there was no way the Steelers were going to beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, and there was definitely no way the Giants would beat Denver in Denver. I was wrong on both of those. The NFL is fucked up this year. That is for sure. Who's good? I know this isn't really fantasy football talk right now, but ask yourself, who's a good team in the NFL? The Chiefs, they're good. The Steelers aren't good though, and they lost to the Steelers at home. The Pats, I would definitely they're all right, just like the Steelers are all right, or just like the Chiefs are all right. There's a lot of okay teams, but it doesn't seem like anyone is that cut above everyone else. Like Philly's good, but they're not. They're beatable. No team looks unbeatable right now. I mean, no team is obviously it's very rare that a team goes undefeated, but there are teams that look pretty much unbeatable. You know what I mean? Like Atlanta looked unbeatable for most of the year last year. The Pats looked unbeatable once Brady came back. I don't see that this year. Every team seems beatable. Atlanta lost to Miami. Jay Cutler threw for 150 yards and beat the Falcons. Football is crazy. Fantasy football is just as crazy. R.I.P. to all the Aaron Rodgers owners. R.I.P. to OBJ owners. R.I.P. to... In one of my leagues, I'm not joking, this is a keeper league. I have David Johnson, Aaron Rodgers, and Odell Beckham Jr. And... yeah, obviously you guys can tell I'm not in great shape in that league. And I started Aaron Rodgers this week, obviously, in that league, because I wasn't expecting him to get hurt, so I got a nice 0 points from my best quarterback. But let's get right into things, guys. Obviously, welcome to Joe's Fantasy Field Goal on the B.S.N network. I got all your quarterback streams, your defensive streams, waiver wire wonders. We're going to go through start sit. Let's start with quarterback streams right now.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong?
Alright, guys. So, for the quarterback streams this week, most of these guys are less than 50% owned. Obviously, you know how it goes. I think I actually did a pretty good job this week of quarterbacks who aren't owned in a lot. Some of them can seem like sketchy plays, but I think you'll be fine with all of these guys. There is one guy I'm a little iffy on. He has a good matchup. I just don't know how the team is going to work it. Whatever. We'll get to him when we get to him. We'll start at the top. My first quarterback stream is the backup to Aaron Rodgers, Brett Hundley. I know he came in, he threw a touchdown, he threw 3 interceptions. That was his first week, first game, no preparation. Wasn't expecting to play. Now he'll have a week of practice to learn the offense. He's not awful. He's got a good matchup against New Orleans. I'd be willing to stream him. I might pick some of the other people on this list first, just to have a week to see what you actually have in Brett Hundley. But, I mean, if you're in a bind and none of these other guys are available for some crazy reason, you can play Brett Hundley, and I think you'll be okay. Next on the list is Josh McCown versus Miami. This is my favorite start this week. Josh McCown has looked pretty fucking good for the past couple weeks. No one believes in him because he's a Jet, but the dude will keep you in games if you let him. He looked great against the Pats, but everyone looks great against the Pats. But he's looked good the previous couple weeks. He's got a juicy matchup with Miami, whose offense is so bad that the Jets will get the ball a million times anyway. So I like Josh McCown this week for sure. That he's probably my favorite on this list. Next on the list is Tyrod Taylor versus Tampa Bay. I don't trust the Tampa Bay defense. I don't know if Jameis Winston is playing, which means the Bills might get the ball back a lot. Tyrod Taylor is pretty consistently a quarterback one already. Out of all of these quarterbacks I'm going to name, he's most likely the one that's going to be taken, but obviously double check. He is coming off a bye week, I believe, so there's a chance he's on the waiver wire. I really like Tyrod Taylor this week versus Tampa Bay. He has a solid floor with his running ability, but a pretty high ceiling when he combines the two, running and passing. So Tyrod Taylor, fire him up versus Tampa Bay if he's on your waiver wire. Next on the list, Blake Bortles has a matchup with Indy. This is the guy who I like the matchup, but I'm a little worried about how the Jaguars are gonna play this game because Indy can't stop the run, and we've seen the Jaguars now continuously run the ball if they can. So I like the matchup with Blake Bortles versus Indy, but there's a chance that he might be one of those guys who throws for like 100 yards and maybe a touchdown, which isn't a great streaming option. Obviously, that's only like 10 points. So he's probably last on my list, maybe right above Brett Hundley out of these five guys I'm giving you. He does have a good matchup though, and you never know when maybe we get London Blake Bortles back. So Blake Bortles versus Indy, the matchup is good, but I'd probably take Josh McCown or Tyrod Taylor over him. And the last quarterback on the list is another new guy who is now your starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and that is CJ, I think it's Beathard. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Beathard. He's playing the Cowboys, who don't have a good secondary. Everyone knows this. The offense for the 49ers looked improved with him at quarterback. Obviously, Shanahan likes what he's got in Beathard, or else he wouldn't have made the switch with Hoyer and Beathard. So if I was going to rank these five, I would probably go McCown, Taylor, Beathard versus Dallas. I know you only have one game under your belt, but I don't think the Dallas secondary is that good, and I think Kyle Shanahan and this kid can move the ball. So Beathard 3, then Bortles, and then Brett Hundley 4 and 5. So go out there and look for those quarterbacks. For defensive special team streams, I like the Jets versus Miami. Like I said, Miami just played the Falcons, and they won. But Jay Cutler only threw for 150 yards passing. And I think that the Jets will be able to hold them in check. The Jets managed to hold the Patriots in check for most of the game, pretty much. So I like the Jets versus Miami. Jay Cutler's look awful. He'll probably throw a pick. That's a pretty safe DST stream, and they'll definitely be available. Next, I have Buffalo versus Tampa Bay. I don't know if Jameis Winston is playing or not. If Jameis Winston isn't playing, I like this a lot better. If Jameis Winston is playing, I still like it. Buffalo has been pretty good against the pass, and Jameis Winston is mistake prone, and Fitzpatrick is very mistake prone. So I think you have a good shot at getting a turnover in that matchup regardless of who plays quarterback. I like Buffalo versus Tampa Bay. So that's my second one. Next on the list is Jacksonville versus Colts. I don't think Jacksonville's available in your league, but, look anyway. Maybe they are. That's a great matchup against the Colts, especially with the Colts don't really have a running game. That's what Jacksonville's weak against, and Jacksonville's disgusting against the pass. And if Brissett is still the quarterback, I like that matchup. We have Tennessee versus Cleveland. At this point, start who's ever playing the Cleveland Browns. That organization is quickly turning. Well, they already are a dumpster fire, but they're really showing their dumpster fieriness. That's not a word, but whatever. Lately, so I'm firing up any defense that plays Cleveland. This week it's Tennessee, who, even though they are awful defense, they should 100% be available in your league. I still trust them against the dumpster fire that is the Cleveland Browns. And last on the list for the defensive special team streams is Philly versus Washington. Philly's another team, might not be available in your league, but the defense has been solid all year. They're good at creating turnovers. They're just coming off a good game as a DST. And the Washington Redskins offense has been okay. I wouldn't say it's been, that high-powered 5,000 yards passing offense that we've seen from Kirk Cousins in the past. So I like Philly versus the Redskins this week. And we will move on to waiver wire wonders because that was all of my streams. So on to waiver wire wonders.
And I wonder if you know the wonder of it all.
Alright. We are back with waiver wire wonders. www. Get these guys off your waiverwire.com. That was a bad joke. Sorry to all of you for that. First on the list for waiver wire wonders is a combo of Marvin Jones and or Kenny Golladay. Probably not and. Probably just Marvin Jones or Kenny Golladay. Marvin Jones is most likely taken. His ownership percentage was higher. But go on the lookout. Golden Tate there's a chance he's missing multiple weeks. And Detroit is on bye this week, but there's if Kenny Golladay is healthy, you want to pick up Kenny Golladay because he will take over for Golden Tate. Marvin Jones will take over for Golden Tate. Kenny Golladay will slide into Marvin Jones' spot. He's talented. Marvin Jones is talented, and he will become your new number one wide receiver. So look for both of them on the waiver wire. Next up, we have Orleans Darkwa. This, I think, after last night's game, is your starting running back for the Giants 100%. I was high on Wayne Gallman at first, but Orleans Darkwa has always looked good and consistent as the running back there, and he fucking ran all over the Broncos. So I really like Orleans Darkwa. He's the running back for your Giants, for the New York Giants. And if you need running back help, go get Orleans Darkwa. He's definitely available, and he's good roster depth for the bye weeks coming up for your team. Next on the list is Nelson Aguilar. He's just getting it done. And he's not getting a ton of targets or volume, but he just seems to be in the right place at the right time, and you can't just keep ignoring production. You gotta, strike while the iron's hot. So Nelson Aguilar is out there. He's not owned in 100% of leagues, or even close. He's owned in, right around 50. So go get Nelson Aguilar, pick him up if you are weak at wide receiver. I'm not saying you should drop someone else. I don't even know if he's really worth that much of value in a PPR league because he just doesn't get a ton of targets. But he just seems to be a big play magnet, and he's worth having on your team as a situational flex guy, especially very matchup dependent. I would target Nelson Aguilar if you're weak or you need a big play. You're taking on the guy who's 5-0. And you don't think you stand a chance, well, put Nelson Aguilar in on your flex, and since you think you're going to lose anyway, what's the worst that could happen is he puts up a dud, and you thought you were going to lose anyway, or he could hit a fucking huge play, and now you got a giant flex play out of nowhere. That's the real boomer bust guy, Nelson Aguilar, but I like him as a pickup. Next on the list is Matt Forte. He must have been dropped in a bunch of leagues. He is 50.5% owned. He is still a starting running back in the NFL. He is going to get probably 10 to 15 touches a game. He is worth owning in all formats, especially in PPR. He will be involved in the passing game, especially as long as Bilal Powell is not healthy. I like Matt Forte. Go out and get him. You can never have too many running backs. So I was shocked when I saw that he was only owned in 50% of leagues. A lot of people must have dropped him because of his injury. He's out there. Go grab him. Next on the list is Dion Lewis. He has slowly been gaining more touches in this offense. He had a great game against the Jets. He was running like a madman. He got more usage than most any other running back in New England. And he's already done it before. He was like the number 7 running back before he blew his knee out a couple years ago. Dion Lewis is 100% worth having, and he's on the waiver wire. I think he's only owned in like 6.6% of leagues, which is ridiculous. He needs to be owned. He's being utilized, and he has huge upside. Huge upside. I'm talking running back 1 upside. He should have been number 1 on this list with a bullet. Go get Dion Lewis if you can. Last on the list is Adam Humphries. I like this specifically in a PPR league. Half point, full point, doesn't matter. He's consistently getting 6 targets a game. He's got 6 catches in 3 of his last 4 games, and he's never had a game under 5 targets. So, you know he's going to get the ball. He's a short yardage receiver, slot guy, so he's not big play dependent, but if you need a safe play in a PPR format, I like Adam Humphries as a pickup, as a flex, or as a deep roster option for the upcoming bye weeks and stuff like that. You can do much worse than Adam Humphries, so go pick him up. And that's actually it for a pretty quick waiver wire wonder. We will get right into start sit for the matchups in week 7.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance. I know there's a lot riding on it, but it's all psychological. Just got to stay in a positive frame of mind.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over them mountains? Yeah, if Coach would have put me in 4th quarter, we'd have been state champions, no doubt.
All right, and we're back with start sit for week 7. First on the list, we have the Chiefs and the Raiders on Thursday night. Chiefs at the Raiders. Fire up all your Chiefs. It's going to be the same way for everything. Every time the Chiefs play, I'm going to tell you to fire up your Chiefs. Alex Smith, Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Those are the Chiefs you play. Those are the Chiefs you always play. Play all your Chiefs. For the Raiders, it's not a great matchup. I can't trust Marshawn Lynch anymore. Obviously, you could probably flex him if you need to, but I don't like him as a starting running back. For the Raiders, I'm going to say you play Michael Crabtree and you play Amari Cooper. Do you play Amari Cooper, though? He's got to go up against Marcus Peters. I would probably only play Michael Crabtree. Is that weird to say? I just don't think the Raiders are going to play well against the Chiefs. Derek Carr's fucked up. I don't even know if he's playing. I think he came back last week. I just don't trust the Raiders' offense yet, especially not against a team that's as hot as the Chiefs. I'd probably flex Marshawn Lynch and play Michael Crabtree, and whatever your confidence level is on Amari Cooper, it's up to you. I don't know if I love this matchup for him, though. Next up, we have the Ravens at the Vikings. I'm playing Buck Allen. for the Ravens, and I could probably flex Alex Collins. Other than that, I'm staying away from the Ravens. The offense is still, it's not fixed. For the Vikings, you're playing McKinnon. Since you probably spent some money on the waiver wire or your priority to get him. You're playing McKinnon. I don't think Diggs is healthy. Probably play Thielen. This is a low-scoring game. I don't like this game for fantasy. I'm probably playing Thielen and McKinnon. And maybe Kyle Rudolph. And Diggs if he's healthy. That's it for that. For next matchup is Saints-Packers. I'm playing all of my Saints. Kamara, Ingram, Breeze, Thomas. Snead has been irrelevant, though. Ted Ginn hasn't really been... What did they do last week, actually? Whatever. We're going based on, trends. I would probably play Thomas, Ingram, Kamara, whatever, however you pronounce his name. Obviously Breeze. I might take a shot at playing the tight end whose name is escaping me right now. Colby Fleener. And that's probably it. On the Packers side, I'm going to play... Obviously, I said Brett Hundley was a stream-worthy quarterback. I played Devontae Adams if he's healthy. Jordy Nelson, obviously, you always play Jordy Nelson. The running back situation I would watch. Ty Montgomery's probably flexible. If he's 100% healthy, obviously you play him. It's a good matchup with the Saints. Adam Jones is probably still going to get carries. I would feel confident flexing Adam Jones too. Is it Adam Jones? Adam Jones is a the hell is that kid's name? Aaron Jones. Adam Jones is the corner. I knew it was weird. Aaron Jones. I'm comfortable playing Aaron Jones and a flex, Ty Montgomery and a flex. I think you're fine either way. Ty Montgomery should be healthier. Hopefully he's playing. And I'm playing... You probably play Marty Bennett too. I'm a little bit worried about the Packers offense, but I think Brett Hundley can get it done against a Saints team that's whatever. Also, I just saw that Ted Ginn actually had a pretty good game last week, and he's got a good matchup. He's probably flex-worthy. Versus the Packers. Next on the list is Jets-Dolphins. I'm playing Mccown. If Bilal Powell is hurt, I'm playing Forte. If Bilal Powell is healthy, I'm playing Bilal Powell. I'm 100% playing Austin Seferian-Jenkins. To me, he's pretty much a must-start from here on out. And then you might be able to flex a receiver. For the Dolphins, I'm never going to tell you to play... You're playing Jay Ajayi. You got to play Jarvis Landry. To play Devontae Parker if he's back. And that's probably it. That's probably it for the Dolphins. Next on the list is Panthers-Bears. I'm playing all the Panthers. All the Panthers you have. The Bears defense isn't great. So Cam, McCaffrey, I don't know about Jonathan Stewart. You probably flex Jonathan Stewart. Kelvin Benjamin if he's healthy. Devin Funchess if he's healthy. I'm probably Ed Dixon might even be play worthy at tight end. For the Bears, what do we got in Trubisky? You're playing Jordan Howard. I don't know about Tariq Cohen anymore, man. I know he had a passing touchdown, but that's gimmicky and it can't be trusted to be replicated, obviously. I don't know. I feel like I would stay away from playing Tariq Cohen until you see something from him. They haven't been getting him involved as much. To be honest with you, the Panthers' defense isn't that bad. I would probably just play Jordan Howard. Who the hell are the receivers in fucking Chicago anyway? You know what I mean? Kendall Wright, I guess, but that's not a great play. I'm probably just playing Jordan Howard in the Bears-Panthers for the Bears. Next on the list is Cardinals-Rams. Fire up AP again. Jesus Christ, what was that? Vintage AP. Fire up AP. I don't know if you can trust Andre Ellington anymore that AP is in town because they didn't throw him the ball. He literally put up 0 points. He goose-egged. So, fire up AP. I would play Carson Palmer. You can play John Brown. And that's about it for who I would feel comfortable with. Oh, Larry Fitzgerald. Jesus Christ, obviously Larry Fitzgerald. That's who I would feel comfortable with on the Arizona side of the ball. For the Rams, obviously you're playing Todd Gurley. I don't like Sammy Watkins. Please don't play Sammy Watkins. He's going to be shut down by Patrick Peterson. I like Gurley and Todd Gurley. That's who you should play for the Rams. Robert Woods might be a sneaky play. The second corner for the Cardinals has trouble guarding people in general. So Robert Woods might be a sneaky play, sneaky flex. That would be like a glory play if he actually had a good game. Or Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp actually is probably a good play. So I would play for the Rams, Todd Gurley, and Cooper Kupp. For the next game is the Buccaneers at the Bills. Obviously, I'm saying play Tyrod Taylor. Play Nick O'Leary. I guess I'll add him to the waiver wire wonder. Nick O'Leary is the replacement tight end since Charles Clay is down, and the tight end in Buffalo is getting work no matter who it is. So play Nick O'Leary. You can stream Tyrod Taylor. Obviously, you play Shady McCoy. And that's everyone worth playing on the Buffalo Bills offense. For the Buccaneers, you can play Jameis if he's healthy. I don't know what the prognosis was on Jameis Winston. You play Doug Martin. You play Cameron Brate. You play Mike Evans. You might be able to flex Adam Humphries, but I would only do that in a PPR league. You could flex Deshaun Jackson in any league. If you want to go boom or bust, you know what I mean? If you want to go with the all upside play, he's definitely not the safe play, so that's very matchup dependent. But that's who I would start in the Buccaneers-Bills game. Next on the list, we got Jags-Colts. I'm 100% playing Leonard Fournette. I said I would be okay streaming Blake Bortles. I'm probably firing up whoever you got at wide receiver, which if you have one of the wide receivers from the Jags, they'd be flex worthy. That's probably it. I know Chris Chris Ivory had a big game, catching the ball too, which was weird. I just don't think that's going to be repeatable or repeated. I need to see a trend going on there before I hop on that. And on the other side of the ball for the Colts, I'm probably staying away from the passing game for the Colts. I'd fire up Frank Gore and I'd fire up Marlon Mack because the Jaguars have trouble stopping the run. But I would probably stay away from the passing game for the Colts. Maybe flex T.Y. Hilton, but that's just sketchy play. That's a big boomer bust flex. The Jaguars are just so good at pass defense. Next up, we have Titans at Browns. I'm playing Duke Johnson Jr. for the Browns, and that is it. Isaiah Crowell is a piece of shit. Fucking the Browns are a piece of shit. Don't even know who their quarterback is. I'm not fucking around with any of the Browns wide receivers. I'm playing Duke Johnson Jr. and getting the fuck out of there. For the Titans, I'm firing up any Titans I have. I think Mariota's back for this game. I think he'll be back for that game. I don't know if he's back yet for tonight's game. I didn't check, actually. But I'm playing Mariota. I'm playing DeMarco Murray. I'm playing Rashard Matthews, Delaney Walker, probably flex Eric Decker. I'm playing all my Titans. Cowboys at 49ers. Obviously, CJ Beathard is one of my streamers. I like Pierre Garçon. I like Carlos Hyde. You'd probably flex Matt Breida if you got him. He's been getting some work. Marquise Goodwin is, I think, the other wide receiver on the 49ers. He could be a sneaky, deep flex play in a standard league because he's got some big play capability. But I wouldn't plan on starting him if you're in any kind of normal league. For the Cowboys, I don't know if Zeke plays. If he plays, obviously you play Zeke. If not, fire up whatever. Oh, obviously that's a waiver wire wonder. If they're not picked up already, go get Alfred Morris or DeMarco Murray. Darren McFadden. Not DeMarco Murray, Darren McFadden. Go get Alfred Morris or Darren McFadden if they're available on your waiver wire anywhere, because you have a starting caliber running back. If you guess which one is going to get the ball, it might be a 50-50 timeshare. No one quite knows yet. But you got to take a shot and try and get one of those guys, because if you guess the right one, that's a huge get. That's a starting running back for the next 6 weeks and a very run-heavy offense. So you're playing one of them. If Zeke is out, obviously. If Zeke's in, you're playing Zeke. You play Dak. I like that matchup. Versus the 49ers, Dak could actually be a QB stream, but he's owned in a lot of leagues. Play Dez, obviously. I'd play Jason Witten. He hasn't been really that involved, but he's worth playing. And I might play Cole Beasley in a PPR flex, a deeper PPR league. I would flex Cole Beasley that game. Next we have Bengals Steelers. The Bengals are back. You play Andy Dalton. You play Tyler Kroft, the tight end there for the Bengals, who's filling in for the hurt Tyler Eifert. Obviously, you play AJ Green. I think you could flex Joe Mixon. That's probably all I'm playing for the Bengals. For the Steelers, obviously you play Lev Bell. They are at home, so you could play Big Ben. I just don't know if Big Ben has it right now. You could play Big Ben. You're definitely playing Lev Bell. You're definitely playing Antonio Brown. I would stay away from any drama with fucking Martavis Bryant. He just hasn't been good. To be honest with you, I'm probably just playing Lev Bell, Big Ben, and Antonio Brown for the Steelers. Next, we have the Seahawks at the Giants. The fuck was that with the Giants last night? I don't expect that again. I think they'll shut down Darkwa. I wouldn't play Orleans Darkwa. I wouldn't play Eli Manning. I'd play Evan Ingram. I would. I'd play Evan Ingram. Just because the tight end fucking landscape right now is so bad anyway. And someone has to catch the ball for the Giants. So I would play Evan Ingram. I would play Sterling Shepard if he's playing. But that's kind of as a flex, I think. I don't think I would play him as one of my wide receivers. For the Seahawks, I'm playing Russell Wilson. I'm staying away from that backfield. I think, is Doug Baldwin hurt? If Doug Baldwin's healthy, I'd play Doug Baldwin. I think he got hurt, though. Play Jimmy Graham. I'm playing Jimmy Graham. Playing Russell Wilson. I play Doug Baldwin if he's healthy. If not, I'd probably play like Paul Richardson or whatever wide receivers are filling in. And that's it for the Seahawks. Next up, we have the Broncos at the Chargers. I'm playing Demaryius Thomas for the Broncos. I'm playing C.J. Anderson for the Broncos. You could stream Simeon, I guess. He could be a streamer. He is on the road though, so I don't know how much I feel about that. How great I feel about that. Demaryius Thomas though is pretty much alone in that wide receiving core because Emmanuel Sanders got banged up, and so did the next wide receiver, I think. And Demaryius Thomas went fucking off. He had like 10 receptions for 130 yards. He's utilized a ton, so I really like Demaryius Thomas in this matchup, actually. So I probably play C.J. Anderson, Demaryius Thomas, and that's it. Maybe Jamal Charles, but probably not. No, don't play Jamal Charles. For the Chargers, you're playing Melvin Gordon. I know the Broncos shut him down earlier, but whatever, they're at home now, and you should always play Melvin Gordon. I don't like Phillip Rivers as much as he turns the ball over. He does seem to play the Broncos okay at home, though. I'm probably playing Melvin Gordon and Keenan Allen. And maybe Tyrell Williams. And that's it. I'm definitely not playing Hunter Henry. He gooses you. Next we have the Falcons-Patriots prime time. I'm playing all my Falcons because the Patriots still have not proved that they can stop anyone. I like Devonta Freeman that week. I like Tevin Coleman that week. I like Matt Ryan that week. I like Julio Jones to be an unstoppable force. Taylor Gabriel is 100% flex worthy. Austin Hooper is worth playing. I mean, the Patriots' defenses looked awful, so I'm going to keep telling you to play people against them until you see anything otherwise. For the Patriots, obviously you play Brady, you play Gronk, you play Hogan, Amendola, Cooks. You could flex Gillislee. You should pick up and play Dion Lewis. And James White if you're in a PPR league. That's all the Pats. So play your Pats and play your Falcons. That should be a shootout. That should be a fucking great game for fantasy. If you have anyone involved in that game, latch onto it like a slug. Like a leech. And the Monday night game is the Redskins at the Eagles. You can play Kirk Cousins. I'm not playing Jamison Crowder. Has just been awful, and he's not worth starting until you see anything from him. I might flex Terrell Pryor. I'm playing whatever running back is healthy between Rob Kelly and Samaje Perine. Obviously, you play Chris Thompson. And Jordan Reed or Vernon Davis whichever one is starting. I think Jordan Reed is healthy again, so I think he played this week. So Jordan Reed is probably a go. You should play Jordan Reed. For the Eagles, I'm playing all of them because the Eagles have seen pretty fucking good. I'm playing Carson Wentz. I'm playing Nelson Aguilar. I'm playing Alshon Jeffrey. I'm 100% playing Zach Ertz as a must play at this point. LeGarrette Blount is worth playing. That's probably it, actually. Those guys. But that was the last game. This is, we went through this quick, actually. 40-something minutes. Hopefully you guys are in good shape and you didn't lose too many huge superstars to injuries, unlike that one team I have that lost its 3 most pivotal players. Luckily in that league I still have Julio Jones and Todd Gurley. There's an 8-person keeper league, so the teams are kind of like super teams. And I have the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football, Alex Smith, still. So I'm not in terrible shape, but I have lost a few matchups that were... I should have the best team in the league, and injuries have just been devastating me. But good luck, guys. I will see you next week at week 8. And have some fun, win some matchups, and subscribe, rate, review to the B.S.N network, and listen to all our new shows. Bleh, 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 bleh. I can't talk, huh? We got the 4-Star Sports Bar Review, brand new show that just launched today, actually. We got more Boxy Boys coming, WECP, Dave Speaks, and obviously the main BS Nerds podcast, and this, the Fantasy Field Goal. You get all of that one quick click of the subscribe button on iTunes, and you get all of that great content every week. Give us a 5-star review, rate, review, subscribe. Have a nice night, guys.